Let me show you some tips and tricks for Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. As a disclaimer, I have to say that some of these features can also be found on other Samsung Galaxy devices or even on other smartphones in general. However, they are still worth mentioning. So the first thing that I want to show you is the option to switch to mobile data after losing connection to Wi-Fi, which can be enabled and disabled. So if you open settings, then we can go to connections, choose Wi-Fi, tap on these three dots in the top right corner and go to intelligent Wi-Fi. And over here we have switch to mobile data. Use mobile data whenever your Wi-Fi internet connection is slow or unstable. So if you want to prevent that from happening, you want to tap on this switcher in order to turn it on or off. In addition to that, we can also choose network exceptions as well as allow individual apps to switch to mobile data. Besides that, there's also a hidden menu available in Intelligent Wi-Fi. We need to keep tapping on Intelligent Wi-Fi at the bottom until you see that labs have been turned on, and then you should find Connectivity Labs, where you can find some of these weekly reports and data about for the Wi-Fi, where we can also enable and disable the Wi-Fi 7 mode as well. If you go to sounds and vibration, if you decide to set a custom notification sound for yourself, then you might be surprised, especially if you are a new user of Samsung Galaxy smartphones, that there is no way to add a custom notification sound. So if you have an audio file on your phone, then you need to actually do a little trick. More precisely, you need to go to My Files. Then over here you need to go to audio files, for example, and let's say this is the notification set that I want to set up. So what I need to do is press and hold my finger in order to select that file. I need to choose to move. In internal storage, we need to go to notifications and I need to move it here. I already have this file moved here, but this is what we need to do. And only after that, if you go to the notification sound settings, you should be able to scroll up to find the custom section, and then you can select it to set it as the notification sound. In the clock app, where we can set up alarms, we can separate alarm volumes or group them together. If you tap on these three dots on the right side and if you go to settings, you should be able to find the volume option for these alarms. And here we can set different volume for each alarm, or we can use the same volume for all alarms. So if you want to set up multiple different alarms, and if you want to have different volume of these alarms, then you can enable that option over here. With this option enabled, if you go to the alarm, you should be able to go to alarm sound, and then over here you can set up the volume. Also, regarding alarms, if you are this kind of person that needs to set up multiple alarms in order to wake up early, then there's also a pretty cool feature that allows you to group those alarms together. So if you press and hold your finger on the alarms, and if you select multiple alarms, you can choose to group at the bottom. You can also create the group, set up the group name. So let's say wake up. I'm gonna name it as wake up. And then all these alarms are moved into a single group, and we can turn them on or off. Of course, still we can do that individually, or we can simply press turn all on at once, or turn off as well. So it makes it a little bit easier and convenient to simply turn them on and off if we need to do that with multiple different alarms every day. We're gonna go back to the settings and to sounds and vibration, because over here, if you scroll down, you'll find sound quality and effects. And over here we have a bunch of different options that may be useful for some people. For example, we can enable the Dolby Atmos, and we can choose one of these profiles for Dolby Atmos, as well as we can find the equalizer, where we can boost different frequencies. We have boost dialogue option that makes it easier to hear voices in videos that have other background sounds. We can also normalize the loudness, so that's pretty much every sound or song is approximately or has the same loudness. And we also have app sound settings, where we can find specific apps, where media apps to be exact, and we can adjust sound settings for these apps here. In the settings, if you go to notifications and choose notification pop-up style, you will find edge lighting style as long as the brief pop-up style is selected. And here we can create those side effects on our phone. That is pretty cool, especially if you want to know when you receive a notification, if you want to have this visual representation when the device is locked, and if you still want to know about new notifications. Of course, we can adjust colors, and we have some other settings as well. If you received a notification and you deleted it by accident or just removed it from the notifications list, from the notification bar, you can still go to notifications, go to advanced settings, and here you will find notification history, as long as it is enabled, of course, and you can still go back to dismissed notifications. In these same settings, you can also find that this option shows snooze button. So then if you go to notifications, you can unfold options in some cases, and then you have this snooze button that we can tap in order to hide these notifications for a selected amount of time. Now we're gonna go to display settings, and over here it is worth mentioning the screen resolution option, where we can switch to Quad HD Plus resolution, because by default it is actually set to full HD plus, I believe. So if you wish to have even sharper visuals on your screen, it is worth switching to Quad HD plus. Of course, the drawback is higher battery consumption. In the settings, if you go to battery, of course you will find the power saving option. However, if you go over here, you can tap on these three dots and find adaptive power saving option as well, which allows you to make the device learn usage patterns, and then the device will automatically turn on and off the power saving option whenever it decides, so when it feels convenient to turn it on for you. And another thing in power saving options is that you may know about ultra power saving option or maximum power saving option, something like that. It is also available over here, but in order to turn it on, we need to scroll down and choose this option, limit apps and home screen. With this option enabled, if you turn on power saving mode, it looks like this. We have very limited access to apps. There is no wallpaper, but the battery usage is very, very limited, so you save as much battery as possible in this way. You can tap on these three dots in order to turn off this option, and then remember to go back to these settings if you want to disable that ultra or maximum power saving option. In the settings, if you go to wallpaper and style over here, of course you will find the wallpaper for your lock screen and home screen, and these can be customized. For example, I'm gonna go to the lock screen, and over here we can press this suggest button in order to let the phone provide us some examples. And this is how we can customize our lock screen pretty easily. As you can see, we have few options to choose from. We can press suggest again in order to regenerate those suggestions. And we go. As you can see, the font of the clock is changed, the position of them is changed, and sometimes we can also find this filter. Of course, if you want to, you can create your own wallpaper style over here by choosing your frame and color of the background of the frame. We also have effects over here where we can use original, we can blur the wallpaper, use the grayscale, and so on and so forth. If you are a fan of always on display, and if you go to always on display, you will find that there are not so many options available in these settings regarding the customization. However, that doesn't mean that we cannot really customize it, because we can simply go to the themes app, and here we can switch to AODs, and we can completely for free find a bunch of different AODs, even automated ones, and we can apply them pretty easily. Simply choose the one that you wish to have and press download button, and then you should be able to set it up. You may have noticed that when you receive a notification from an app, you have this number, an indicator that you have a notification waiting for you. And you can actually improve that or make a better use of it, because if you go to notifications in the settings and then choose advanced settings and then go to app icon badges, here you can enable notifications on app icons, where you can touch and hold the app icon to show the notifications. So now if I press and hold my finger, I will see the notification that I have received from this app, so I don't have to open the notification bar. Going back to settings, if we choose home screen, then over here you should be able to find an option that allows you to rotate the home screen to landscape mode. So if you have the screen rotation enabled, let's take a look, it is locked. So let's unlock it, then I can rotate the phone and the home screen can rotate as well, which might be quite convenient for some people. If you like surprises, then you might be happy to find one more option in wallpaper and style. More precisely, if you go to change wallpapers, over here you will find dynamic lock screen. Here you can choose 5 categories. So let's say I'm gonna choose these. There we go. And now every time I open the lock screen, I will have completely new wallpaper. These wallpapers are updated every 2 weeks or so that it is always something new. If you found an interesting image while searching for something on the internet, and if you want to look for results, if you want to search by image, you can simply press and hold the home button or the gesture bar that we have if you use gesture for navigation, and then we can use circle to search. So we can circle the image that we want to search and we can try to find the appropriate results regarding that picture. Furthermore, if you open the same thing again, you can actually press this button over here for translation. So you can choose the source language and the target language, and this is how we can also quickly translate a page or pretty much anything on our screen. If you tend to use public Wi-Fi's, then you might be happy to find a certain option in security and privacy settings, because over here if you go to more security settings you will find secure Wi-Fi, and here you can enable the protection from or for insecure Wi-Fi networks. At the bottom you can also find auto protect Wi-Fi for public Wi-Fi protection. If you like to use split screen or pop-up view for apps, then you can go to advanced features, go to multi-window, and here we have 2 swipe gestures. Swipe for split screen and swipe for pop-up view. Over here you have these gestures that you can use in order to turn on the split screen pretty quickly or activate the floating window. In these advanced features we can also find video brightness option that allows you to temporarily increase the screen brightness and make colors more vibrant when you watch videos. And over here we can also see the list of supported apps. We also have Super HDR, which automatically adjusts the display to show the full range of colors and contrast in pictures taken with Galaxy devices. And if you like to play games, you will be happy to find game booster settings, also in advanced features, where we can increase the performance of our device when we are playing games. So over here we have game optimization, and we can choose the desired performance optimization. We can also go to customizations for individual games in order to set it up for specific games only, where we can choose the game optimization, desired frame rate per second, and so on. And if you care about the battery more, then you probably know that heating the battery makes it aging quite faster. Therefore, if you can go to device care, and here we can find the performance profile, where we can set it to standard. This is the default option, but we can also switch it to light, where we prioritize the battery life and cooling efficiency, so the device will not overheat as much. It probably still will sometimes, but it will be prevented more often. And the cost is of course the processing speed. Now in the settings, let's go to general management, and we're gonna go to Samsung keyboard settings, where over here we can create text shortcuts. So for example, if you wish to be able to simply write my email, we cannot actually press space, but let's say if you want to type my email and then you get the email of yours, there we go, and let's add it. And if I try to send a message, and if I type my email like this, so this is the shortcut, and if I press space, it will be automatically switched to the full address of my email. Of course, this can be used for pretty much anything. You can write some weird shortcuts like hi, and then you can switch it to hello, and so on and so forth. There's definitely some room for creativity. The next thing that I want to show you is in accessibility settings. So let's go over here, let's choose hearing enhancements, and we can find notification, sound notifications actually. If you go over here and turn on sound notifications, then you can enable some of these sounds that can be triggering this sound notification. So for instance, we have baby sounds, dog barking, knocking, doorbell ringing, sorry, and so on and so forth. So everything can be turned on and off over here, and if any of these sounds are detected by the device, then you will be notified about these sounds. In the accessibility settings, we can also go to advanced settings, and over here we can find flash notification, where we can use camera flash notification when you receive a notification. And we can also press to preview this. You may notice that, let me actually show you. So if I press preview, this is how it looks like. So the camera flash can be triggered when you receive a notification. If not the camera flash, then you can also enable the screen flash instead. And this is how it looks like. Of course, you can choose the color as well as for which apps it should work. If you go to quick settings, you might be able to find interpreter. If not, then of course it is convenient to add it. So you can tap on this pen over here in the top right corner, then go to edit, and here in available buttons you should be able to find it. And what it does is it is a pretty useful tool that allows you to communicate with other people who are not talking in your language. Let's say you are somewhere abroad and you want to get some tips how to get somewhere. So this is how we can translate the conversation in real time. We can also flip this top side so that you can hold your phone normally and they can simply tap the microphone in order to tell you something, and then the conversation will be translated. You will see the translation in your language over here, and then you can reply it back. Plus there is also the speaker, so whenever the monologue will be said, then when there is the translation, it will be said out loud as well. And over here, of course, you can choose your language and the target language, so pretty useful tool. Besides that, in quick settings, we can also find song search. So you can play, sing, or hum a song to your phone, and then if the song is detected, you will see search results on the internet, ideally with the exact song that you are looking for. If you are in a call with someone, you may find this call assist button, which can be also used in order to translate the whole conversation. So if you are in a conversation, in a call with someone who also doesn't speak your language, you can actually use live translation option, where we can choose the other person's language as well as yours language, and then it will be translated in the real time. Besides that, we have text call, where we can type anything that we want. So if we are in a situation where we have to call someone but we cannot really talk, you can actually type your responses over here, and then these messages will be read out loud to the other person. If you set up a timer and you don't want to forget about it, you can go to the clock, and in a timer we can tap on these three dots in the top right corner, go to settings, and here we can enable show mini timer. With this option enabled, if you have a timer created, you should have this timer that will be always displayed on your screen. So if you open an app, or if you go to gallery, or if you start playing games, whatever, it will be still visible over here. You can still manage the timer from here, so of course you can pause it if needed and resume it, or you can tap on the timer in order to quickly jump to the clock app. If you go to the voice recorder and if you record a voice memo, then of course you can listen to it. But besides that, you can also use this transcribe option, which allows you to convert the speech into a text. Sometimes you might need to select your language, but then you can just correct it also if needed. And what is really cool about this feature is that it also detects speakers. So if there are multiple speakers, they can be separated over here, and you will find the whole dialogue that was made during the voice recording. Besides that, we also have summary. In my case, this voice recording is quite too short to be summarized, but if it's a little bit longer, you should be able to get a summary made by AI. And over here you will find those points. Besides that, you can also tap on this icon over here in the top right corner in order to translate this transcript, which is also pretty cool. If you are in a meeting with someone who doesn't speak your language, you can, well, as long as they agree to, of course, record a voice memo, and then you can create the transcript and translate these conversations. If you made a photo and you wish to remove something from the photo, it is really easy to do so. So once you open the photo, you can tap on this pen icon at the bottom, switch to this smiley face, actually to these 4 circles, and then you'll find object eraser. Now first the AI will try to detect anything that can or you might want to remove, but of course you can go back and then you can select the area by yourself that you want to remove, and then once the object is selected you can press erase. You can also simply press erase shadows and erase reflections. But essentially this is how it works. If something goes wrong, if not everything was removed, then of course you can still select an area and press erase again and keep going until you are satisfied with the result. There is also one more thing that I want to point out, although it is not really a tip or anything like that. It is more like additional disclaimer. If you made an edit of your photo, if you want to keep the original photo as well, then you want to tap on these 3 dots in the top right corner, and then you want to save as copy. If you decide to simply save, the original photo will be replaced with this edited one. And if you decide to edit a video, in that case we can tap on this icon on the right side with the speaker, and here we have audio eraser, which is also an AI tool that will analyze the sound, and here we can turn off the sound, for example, of the nature or noise sounds. Of course, we can turn them up as well if needed, or completely mute it by tapping on this mute button on the left side. We can also press auto in order to let the AI decide by itself how it should be adjusted, and you can also press here original if needed. The Samsung keyboard has a built-in translation option. If there is no text provided yet, you will find these tools over here, and you can press this icon pretty much in the middle, and here you can choose the source language and the target language, and then let's see, I'm gonna actually switch, let's say, to Polish. We're gonna translate from English. So if I type, hey, how are you? Then let's see if we can get, yeah, so we immediately have the translation ready. And there is also a converter. So let's say if I type 5 kg as 5 kilograms, of course, we can press and hold our finger on that unit, and then we can press convert. And as you can see, we can convert 5 kilograms to ounce, pounds, grams, and we can also press show more in order to find even more conversions. So let's say we're gonna switch to pound, and we can copy, and let's close it, and then we can simply remove this and paste the different value. In Gallery, we can also create collages. So for example, if I press and hold my finger on this photo, this one, and perhaps this one as well, then I can press create over here in the bottom left corner and choose collage. And there we go. We can pretty much mash every photo into one. It looks pretty cool. We have multiple different options to choose from. We have some other edit tools as well. So if you wish to put every photo, or not every, but every photo that you select into one single photo, then of course you can create a pretty cool collage over here, and you should be able to find it in the gallery as well. If you use folders in the home screen, you can press and hold your finger on the folder, and then you can choose enlarge in order to make the folder much bigger. By doing so, every app that is located over here, you can simply tap on that app in order to immediately open it. Whereas if you have this small folder, of course you need to tap on it in order to get access to these apps. So this allows you to organize your home screen even better. If you like to use S Pen, then there is also one more thing that I want to show you. Well, not one more, but one especially quite cool thing that I want to show you. So if the S Pen is removed and the device is locked, what you can do is simply press the button on the S Pen and then tap your screen. And then you should be able to write notes on your screen. And then we can of course save it once we are done. Really convenient stuff for creating quick notes with your S Pen. And last but not least, there is one really good app that you can download from the Galaxy Store, and it is called Good Luck. With this app, you have even more customization options for your S25 Ultra. Just as a quick example, you can get Theme Park plugin, which allows you to customize a little bit of your phone. So over here we can create custom themes over here. We can also customize the quick panel or the notifications panel. So for example, if I choose this one over here, then my notifications panel is now pink. Now this is of course just one single example, but list goes on and on and on. We even have, for example, routines plus that expands the modes and routines section in the settings, and you can do even more with it. And of course we also have access to the now bar, which is for example available in always on display, which is this little panel over here that shows you what is running in the background. Some apps are compatible with this function, with this feature, and in the lock screen you can also swipe up and down in order to switch to a different stuff. So here you can also manage these tasks that are running in the background, such as timers, music players, voice recorder, and so on and so forth. So here you can pause it, resume it, close it, and so on and so forth. So a bunch of different stuff to choose from. And that is essentially it. I hope you found this video helpful. Lots of stuff to discover on Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, whether you are new user of Samsung smartphones or you had S series smartphone before. But that is it. Thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and see you in my next videos. Bye!